I'm very pleased to be here on My Magical Thing with Jez Hughes, writer, shamanic healer, and teacher. Jez, it's lovely to have you here.
Hi, Julian. Great to be here. Really good. Thanks for the invite.
My friend, you're very welcome. So, Jez, please may we see your magical thing?
Okay. My magical thing is my shamanic drum with beater, with the deer leg beater. Um, yeah, I mean, really, I didn't have to think too much about it. The drum has been with me on the shamanic path for the longest. It's my greatest ally, really, and teacher, I suppose. 25 years, really, of playing the drum and going into trance with the drum. So it's, for me, the first time I picked up a drum shamanically and was in a ceremony and we were playing the drum, I was gone. I was gone into a deep trance. I was taken by what they call taken by the deer or taken by the spirits, and completely went with it. This drum is fresh off a 5-hour ceremony on Saturday night, which was quite intense. So, I mean, what I love about it is the idea of thinking that you can play a drum relentlessly for 5 hours. If you thought about it, you'd think, oh, that's crazy. But as I always say, it's you get to the point where you start playing the drum, then the drum starts playing you, and that's the bit when you know you're in the trance. And that's my favorite part of any ceremony. And sometimes it can be hard work just to get there. You kind of, it's like going through sludge, and all you can do is just keep focus and just keep drumming and keep going. And then eventually, when the drum starts playing you, that's that magical, beautiful moment. And you could drop that into that deep trance. And as I always say, every beat feels like an explosion of ecstasy. Every single beat feels like these explosions of ecstasy, and you couldn't even stop if you wanted to stop. It just feels like you're there, and the drum is playing you, and they're probably my favorite moments, really. So I've worked with the drum now, yeah, for around 25 years. This drum obviously is not the same drum. I mean, I've been through many, many, many drums, and they always seem to be, they have their life cycle, and then the fire takes them, or often the fire takes them, and they get burnt, and this particular drum is very special to me, incredibly special, because this was actually made by my late wife, Ali, who I think you've met. And that was her big wish. She didn't leave much of a wish of where her things wanted to go, but the drum coming to me was the big wish before she died. And so every time I play it now, her spirit is conjoined with me, which feels really beautiful and really special, really special. So, and because she was much more of a crafts person than I am, it's really beautifully made, and a beautiful red deer from Scotland. So yeah, the drum is. You can see here there's some paint on it. There's a lot of mud on it because it's come out the woods. So the paint is, when sometimes we wear body paint to help go into trance, and then there's the mud, and so it wears the history really well, and it's just such a beautiful heartbeat as well, because it contains that heartbeat of the earth. So it's really about diving in, and you can use it for so many things. You use it when you go into trance, you can use it for protection, you can use it to move energy, you can use it to summon the spirits. Spirits can, even though this is the spirit of the deer that comes through, because it's a deer skin, many different spirits can live in the drum. So many can just, depending on the ceremony and the spirits that are coming in, then they can come in through this drum, and then you can transfer the energy as well, or that spirit, to the people in the ceremony. So it's got so many different uses, and through the healings and the ceremonies, I mean, I must have played it, I don't know, tens of thousands, at least 10,000 times with it. So and it never gets boring. And the other last thing I'd like to is people often say, because if I'm holding helping other people to go into trance just with the drum, so many different instruments and singing can come out of the drum, that people hear very high-pitched singing often, or they hear bells, or they hear different instruments, and that really shocks people sometimes when they say, where did all that other singing, and it certainly wasn't me with the melodic singing. That is when it has, because it contains all the sounds. The way I was told, it contains all the sounds of the earth within this drum.
Thank you, Ali, for the drum. Thank you, Jez, for sharing that amazing magical thing. That's really appreciated. I don't know if it's going to work over Zoom. Could we hear a little of the drum, my friend? Would that be okay?
Yeah, I mean, it was flat because I wasn't quite sure what this was about until I started checking your magical things before we came on, and then I knew it had to be the drum. But we've had a bit of sun, and that's why they probably didn't use them in the UK, because if you go into the woods, it's very difficult to keep the tension without. Well, that's why you need the fire. But yeah, you can hear a bit of it, I'm sure. What I do is I turn the musician sound on, because there we go.
Yeah.
That
Give
really
it a
does
try.
help. There you go.
Very
What I also
good.
love is the smells. So this deer beta, which is obviously very organic, and it's kind of, you can see how much the drum's been played, but you can just smell the animal as well, and so you really feel it's a very sensual experience. The drum, that's the other thing, really sensual, and gets you into that beyond the human very quickly, and into that much wilder, tribal, or less human, really. Spirit.
Jez Hughes, thank you so much for sharing your magical thing, and for the work that you do for that drum, and for remembering the craftswoman who made that amazing piece in this time. That's really appreciated, my friend. Thank you for sharing that with us.
Thank you for the opportunity. A real pleasure.